you.
Oh yeah, we reach heaven here. Probably a private collector with a fantastic shop. Big fan, a lot of signage, motorcycle, bar. Fantastic. And checkers for floor. Love it. This might be a little bit out of my expertise, but I believe this is 1935 Ford, according to the grill. You guys correct me if I'm wrong or not. It's a burnt orange. I love this color. Big meats. At this point, I don't know if this is a fiberglass or a truly metal car. Looks like possibly a fiberglass. It's still way cool. These tires look cartoonish. They're so big. Well done interior in leather. And a humongous big block. With 2 carburetors and a Whelen blower. Oh yes. I love this thing. Oh yes, talking about bringing Willys. This is like a 1950s Willys to the 21st century. Definitely got all the accoutrements. With a fancy winch. Modern V8 with a compressor. Double battery. Jerry can. Big 35-inch tires. Probably a full modern suspension, and interior all camouflage with the city, of course. Look at this LED. Oh yes, fantastic. Willys Overland. I'm not an expert on this. Could be like a 48 till 1960s. Got everything you need with a V8 engine in it. This thing is outrageous. Yep, and we got a late 50s Thunderbird. Late 50s Thunderbird, but this is not stock at all. Got a bunch of fiberglass parts. Seems that all this front clip fiberglass. You got a racing engine with a blower. Yes. Racing transmission, at least a shifter, with beautiful leather. The paint is in very good shape. You may see this from distance, you think Grandpa is, on a Sunday cruise. But no, it's not a Grandpa's car. This thing will go quick. Yeah, love it. All right. So you summons them. This is the truck.
That's the truck right there, yeah.
And the gear jammers, they built this back in the late 40s after the war.
That's correct.
And this was the predecessor of the Safety Safari when the drags were going on at Camp Ellis, which is an old Army Air Corps field, correct?
Yes.
That's fantastic. And these are the guys.
Yep, that's the original members.
Any of
That's
them?
the original owner of this truck.
That guy there.
Yeah, correct.
So any of those guys are alive?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, there's a core group still alive. The club, the original club still exists. He was the original pub. Spike was his name. Spike was the original president of the club when the club started in 1947.
That's fantastic, and you guys are willing and able to keep the history.
Well, you have to.
Yeah.
You have to. You can paint this truck, you can clear the history, and history's gone. It's like the American history. Keep taking down the monuments, and you'll forget who you are.
And then
where you come from.
And you
have a history.
Yeah.
We have a history. we got to be able to tell that history without tyranny, without people, you know, just like the Brunos racing.
Yeah.
That's iconic.
Yeah.
That's a history. When you're walking around with history on your back.
Yeah.
You know, so
And
it's
people
part
may
of,
like it or not,
and again,
but it's history.
There you go.
That's the thing.
It's solid. It's solid. It's never been repainted. This is all primer.
Never been repainted.
No.
Wow.
Well, you can see all the car club logos on the roof. I mean, we just had the seat done. The seat used to be a farm blanket. Had that done last Christmas. L&S our interiors and games. You'll see one of Big Daddy's cars in here. Yeah, Big Daddy right there. That's Big Daddy right there. Yeah, that's Neil Swearingen.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys are all big names, all been at Camp Ellis, Goodyear gear jammers. Yeah, that's some of the original members, original jackets. And I mean, these guys were all involved with making sure these cars were safe.
Well,
Wives and friends of gear jammers, form auxiliary. This is huge.
Yeah.
It's history, and this truck is part of it. Who was that?
Oh,
that's Big Daddy, and he signed it.
He signed it.
That is Camp Ellis right there. All the big names in drag racing. Who is that?
Oh, that's
Tommy
Ivo, yeah. Who else do we need?
Man, this is huge.
Ivo.
Yeah,
Don
Don Schumacher's in there. Yeah, that Don Schumacher right there.
Oh, okay. He died not too long ago.
Yeah, he did.
He just is Mayer.
Yep.
The young kid from Texas.
Yep. Who's that?
Oh, Shirley.
This is all at Camp Ellis.
Wow. So this
Canton, Illinois.
We're talking about. Yeah, but this is earlier. This is like
Yeah,
late 60s. This is like early 70s.
It says Cha-Cha right on the hood.
Yeah. He didn't like that.
Well, you said hot rodders work on drag strip Sunday. Camp Ellis Sundays. They raced on Sundays. It's right here at Camp Ellis.
Cool.
It's very cool. People stop for a minute and look at the history of this truck. They realize why it's not painted. You can't do it.
No, you can't.
You can't do it.
This is just how I like them. Kind of sweaty. You know, something you can toss around. You're not gonna worry about people scratching it. Even broken glass. Why not? Something you can put together for cheap. Well, maybe not as cheap as maybe 20 years ago. Because these frames are disappearing. Everybody's been using it to do this thing. Pretty simple built. Satin paint.
Ran that tire into the frame and snapped out.
Nothing special. It looks pretty pretty rough. At the same time cool. Got that smell, you know, of oil and gas and sweat and beer. Love it. Here is what it looks like, blacked out Mopar. A Dart? Duster? I'm not sure. But it seems that they got glossy paint all over. And they tried a little bit of golden right here. You spray a little bit of a gold flake, and then you put a plastic on it, and you kind of smoosh it and move it, and it almost worked. He moved it too much apparently. I think it's like a black stripe through the middle of the car. '50s Ford, pretty simple vehicle, very affordable back then. This comes from the broken Pistons, Florida. You know those guys? I've seen quite a bit of their cars. Yep, this one over here, black. Got plenty of blemishes all around. Not a big deal. Still a very drivable, enjoyable car. Got some roses on the door. I don't know what's going on with that. Yep. Got the red wheels. So we come before. This usually is kind of a mild custom that they did back in the day. That means like, hey, I got fire in my wheels or something like that. Eventually spilled out to the tires. But it's a 1950 or a 50, 51. You guys know about this car more than me. So it's 1950s for you. Oh yes, don't you love that nose? Here's a 1927 Ford Roadster. Yep, it's been modified just, you know, for practical reasons like having brakes so you don't kill yourself. And you got a small block Chevy, typical. And you got appropriate safety devices. Roll case, something that it was completely unknown back in 1927. Proper transmission for bracket racing, the idiot light, and the RPM meter. Tires are the ones that you use for drag racing. They're barely legal for the street, but if the cops don't stop you, you're doing fine. I love this thing. It's just built for fun. Oh yeah, it's an Electra 225 with the perfect patina. It's too perfect. I'll say it's either a master painter or a wrap. It's a very perfect patina. Convertible. 1954 Chevy with some old flames. Yeah, the flames don't start right at the beginning where most of the cars have it. You have it like 1/3 of the hood. Look at the wheels. Very old, old school kind of fashion. 1954 Bel Air. That means the Bel Air got all the chrome. A lot of chrome for the car. It truly shines here in the Florida sun.
Listen, Tim, Mark, and Daddy are my people.
Look at that beautiful dash. Steering wheel, fantastic. Yeah, upholstery kind of lets it down a little bit.
Hi, you see my car?
Such of a quality build.
Thank you.
Yeah, chrome. Chrome needs some polish. Maybe some reset. But it's here.
I got 3 more years yet.
I look great. Think your Hummer stuff? Look at this thing. This is an armored carrier from the Alachua County Sheriff's Department. Very similar to the one we filmed at Mount Dora. It's about the same people, about the same builder, different tires, and maybe different exhaust. But definitely got all the goods, bulletproof. And look at this. It's like an assault vehicle. And this is the appropriate place for the officer to stand when they're going for work. 1964 Falcon Spirit. Got a 260. It's pretty much the same engine and the same frame that started the 64.5 Mustang. This is the predecessor, the Ford Falcon. But this is a family car. Actually a pretty affordable family car. He had a small tiny engine, about 144 cubic inches with maybe 190 horsepower? 90 or 100. So, but this is the sport version, the Sprint.
Crazy world of politics. I know.
Oh yeah.
Guys to do it. Tell you what.
We all like it. Lightweight, cheap, and fast. And does a Sprint for you. Simple 34 Ford. All patina, little rust here and there. It looks like a good driver with a flat head. Got nothing fancy on it. Got a single carburetor. I don't know, maybe you expert can tell me if it's Stromberg or it's original. And apparently they put a generator so they can actually use lights. Probably has been converted to 12 volts so they can use it. And it will crank every day. But look how stubby, cool looks. Large tires, and slam with enough rust to keep it fun. Predecessor of the Safety Safari for the NHRA back in the 40s. That was before the Safety Safari. Oh, with a 427 7-liter Ellis engine. This old deuce. Look at this, pretty simple. Still original. Look, don't touch. Modern Mustang. Bel Air, 1950s. 53, 54, 55, 55. There you go. 396. Well, he used to have a 396. Now I got a 502 crate engine. This was says 327. Another deuce. Polara. This is something you don't see every day. Polara 500. This is the one with the shifter or just a bunch of buttons. This one's been raced in the back. They usually kind of low. It looks like something to take to the track. But look at this dash. How unique is it? And that's how you shift those buttons over there. It's very unique. You got time delay and everything. All right. STV truck. Oops, excuse me. Hearst. 50th anniversary. Bel Air. All doled out. 1970. I love this grill. Workhorses, they crank every time.
Then you look at the
This looks
you know,
like a Nomad. He may or may not be.
Right. It's a completely way of doing
Chevy
the same
Nomad,
thing,
yes it is. Beautiful color.
Kind of gets it out of the way. Yeah.
I love jigging the gray guards.
You've got a problem with the valve pump. Exactly. 1/2 dozen.
Oh yeah, station wagon. It's just a low slung SUV. Saab turbo, not the typical car you see in a rural part of Florida. But these cars were actually pretty good. Made by the Swedes. 4-banger with a turbo. Some of these can actually reach 150 miles per hour. Oh yes, and look at this big old Wayland blower. Well, I'm sure it can jam a lot of gasoline in there. Looks like a fiberglass body on it. Kind of unique, kind of magenta color. A Jaguar. Not a car you'll find in a typical car show like this. I got a V8 front. Well, there's a engine on the front. I love the styling. It's kind of reminiscent of E-Type from the 1960s. A V8 Ford. Oh yeah, looks like a gangster kind of car. Look how it looks. Ooh, a Cobra Torino. The King Cobra. Came with a big engine. 428, 429. Let's see what he says here. 429. Yeah, 429 Cobra. 370 horses. The car is not very light, but it was aerodynamic, sort of. This fastback thing was a big thing in the late 60s. They assumed they gave it like an additional miles per hour. 1965, Plymouth Barracuda, totally restored. The gentleman is asking 14.5, so you give him a call. These are reminiscent of the Hemi Underglass. Hemi Underglass that we reviewed at the Moper Show at Don Garlett's. Hemi Underglass actually has the engine right there, under the glass. Actually, for most of these cars, the big glass over here, the cost of the glass is far superior than the price of the actual car. It's one of the largest glass in automotive, and it's definitely extremely expensive because it breaks pretty quick. Good example of gold inside and out. Good example of a 65. Different aluminum radiator. Not 100% stock, but something you can drive around, have a lot of fun. That's the Barracuda for you. This is a 1982 Celica. This came out when I was in high school. It's got a V6 in it. Very good engine. Go to 1982. The gentleman, apparently he was in the Navy, NAS Jacksonville. I actually landed there about 30 years ago and spent there a couple of nights. The interior appears to be almost original. At least the upper part looks like. This fabric is no longer available, so to get it is extremely difficult. Kind of square Supra. This doesn't appear to be the turbo, but these puppies were fetching about 30 grand in 2022. I don't know what's the actual price right now. I'll have to check my videos from Miko.
Right, you have to go get your
It's a Supra 82. Oh yeah, from a 64, 65 GTO to a 27 Roadster. This kind of car actually came out on the 1948 first edition of the Hot Rod magazine, 48-47. That was the nose you saw on it. You got the C10s. I think the face of the C10s is kind of facing over. But we got some good examples here. C3 Corvette. I love their rhombosious curves. The perfect patina kind of car. Cobra for 27. Used to be something like a little Miata. They were slapped a big rocket. 55. Modern engine. Compass. With a 455, maybe. Or 32 with a rumble seat. A turbo, yes. 4-stroke turbo 911. 1980s Chevrolet Caprice station wagon. Another C10 from the 60s. This is a Ford. That's a 54 Crestline. Yeah, I think Don Garlett's have one of these Crestline. Really proud of. Did a video on it. His is yellow. And we have this. Well, that's electronics for you. 1950s. And the strengths. We even have a slingshot. Yep. Pretty much a tricycle with an EcoBoost engine in it. And the big Rolls Royce. We got one of these. Special Forces Airborne. Got to pay respect to that. A lot of work goes into it. Alachua FL. 68 maybe? 57 Chevy Bel Air. Man, look at the chrome. Yeah, we got some LED lights on it. I don't know why. But because we got more light. We got Lagarto skins. Gator skins on it. Very sharp combination. The silver on the black. We keep on the gator detail on the back. And a lot of chrome. You get really close. Yeah, it's a 1966 Ford F100 with a red candy apple. Apparently the back was pretty bad, and they put a 1970s bed in it, which is all good. Same family. We got the vents to get the air out. Candy apple. 66. Oh, yeah, it's a 1956 Chrysler New Yorker with a Hemi. Oh yeah, early Hemi. Only 354 cubic inches back then. Look at this magnificent line yacht. Yes, this is big and in charge. You got plenty of space over here. Maybe many babies were made in this back seat. We don't know. We'll never know. This is the St. Regis model. Apparently some extra chrome and other accoutrements. We have another one here. Look at this, a 300. Another line yacht. Beautiful, comfortable. Oh yes, 55 Chrysler. 300. I love this nose. Very European kind of nose. Reminiscent perhaps of Aston Martin of the era. 396 Malibu. 67, 68 Camaro with a deep purple. 1950 Willys Jeep. Yep, and they got the 82nd Airborne. 82nd Airborne U.S. Army. It's a division that goes to the cold like Alaska to train during February. They go all over the place. Usually when we get in a conflict, they're the first ones in. They sure as hell were the first ones on D-Day. Early in the morning, they got dropped off. Simple example. 1950, as you can see, is like a little higher than the original one. Some of these ended up in Korea. I love the flat fenders. 1965, 6 convertible, 66 Mustang. Turquoise, aquamarine, whatever you want to call these things. Early GT 5.0, early 50s with the blue. Second generation is the tuff Corvette, boat-like. GT Fairlane, about in 65. 48 Ford, signed by Don Garlitz, 2017. Yep. Z28, 2 Z28s. On a Formula with a 6.6 engine, another Z28. These are great examples, great paint, great restoration. Square body, brown, not the sexiest color in the world, but exists. And a funky looking Jeep, ready to go. Beautiful. They put a lot of money into this thing. Apparently has a crate 350 in it? Oh yes.